The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zekthor projected the holographic data before the assembled delegates. 17 civilizations, all advanced spacefaring species, stared at the crimson markers scattered across the star map. Each marker represented a military expedition that had ventured toward the small blue planet in the Sol system. Each marker represented a fleet that never returned. "This cannot be coincidence," Zekthor's translator crackled, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "The humans call their world Earth. 43 expeditions over the past 2 centuries. 0 survivors. 0 transmissions after initial contact, nothing." The insectoid representative from Hive Cluster Gamma clicked her mandibles nervously. "Perhaps they possess weaponry beyond our understanding. A defensive grid? Planetary shields? Our scans show nothing," Zekthor replied, his tentacles writhing in frustration. "Primitive nuclear fission. Chemical propellants. No energy signatures matching quantum disruptors or singularity weapons. By all accounts, they should be defenseless against even our oldest dreadnoughts." Jessica Martinez checked her tactical display one more time as the alien warship entered Earth's atmosphere. The massive vessel, easily 3 kilometers long, descended through the clouds above the Pacific Ocean, its hull gleaming with an otherworldly metal that seemed to absorb light. She tapped her earpiece, connecting to command. "Phoenix 7 to control. Contact confirmed. Starting approach vector." "Copy that, Phoenix 7. James Chen's voice came through clearly from the orbital station. "Weapons are hot. You're cleared for engagement protocol, Sierra November." Jessica smiled grimly. Sierra November. Smile and nod. It was humanity's favorite protocol when dealing with hostile aliens who thought Earth would be easy prey. The alien commander, a being called Overlord Craxus, stood on his bridge watching the primitive planet grow larger in his view screens. His scales rippled with anticipation. This world would provide perfect slave populations for the mining operations in the Andromeda sector. The preliminary scans had shown billions of them, soft-bodied and weak. "Overlord," his tactical officer hissed. "We're detecting a small craft approaching. Single occupant. No visible weapons. Ignore it." Craxus waved a clawed hand dismissively. "Probably some primitive greeting party. Prepare the invasion forces." Jessica's fighter jet screamed through the atmosphere, closing the distance to the alien vessel. She wasn't carrying missiles or bombs. She didn't need them. Humanity had learned long ago that direct confrontation wasn't always the answer when you were the apparent underdog. "Phoenix 7 to hostile vessel," she transmitted on all frequencies. "This is Earth Defense Force. You are ordered to leave our atmosphere immediately or face consequences." Laughter erupted across the alien bridge. Craxus himself found the threat amusing. A single tiny craft threatening his battlecruiser. Delightful. "Ignore the insect," he commanded. "That was their first mistake." Jessica activated the beacon. It was a simple device, really. Nothing more than a modified distress signal on a frequency that humans had discovered purely by accident 50 years ago when the first alien fleet had attacked. That frequency, it turned out, had an interesting property. It made things angry. Very angry. Specifically, it made the native inhabitants of what humans called subspace absolutely furious. Within seconds, reality began to tear. On the alien bridge, alarms shrieked. Craxus watched in horror as rifts opened in the fabric of space itself, and from those rifts emerged something that defied description. The entities that poured through existed partially outside conventional dimensions, their forms writhing masses of geometry that hurt to perceive. The subspace entities, as humans had learned to call them, were territorial beyond measure. They didn't care about the aliens' technology or their empire. They only cared that someone had rung the dinner bell in their domain. "Retreat," Craxus screamed, but it was too late. The entities phased through his shields as if they didn't exist, because in their dimension they didn't. His crew fell one by one, their consciousness simply ceasing as the entities fed on whatever energy kept their minds functioning. Jessica pulled her fighter back, watching dispassionately as the massive warship began to tear itself apart from the inside. She'd seen this 18 times before. It never got easier, but it was always necessary. "Phoenix 7 to control. Protocol successful. Target neutralized." "Copy that," James responded. "Good work, Jess. Come on home." Back at the Galactic Council, Zekthor presented his findings to increasingly nervous delegates. "We've analyzed every scrap of data from probe surveillance," he explained, his voice grave. "The humans don't destroy our fleets with their weapons. They call something something that exists in the layer of reality we use for faster-than-light travel, something that we awaken every time we use our jump drives. But the humans have learned to summon deliberately. The chamber erupted in panicked discussion. Their entire civilization, their entire method of interstellar travel depended on subspace. And the humans had somehow weaponized the very dimension that made galactic civilization possible. But that's impossible, the Hive Cluster representative protested. To control such entities would require— They don't control them, Zekthor interrupted. They simply point them in the right direction and get out of the way. The humans are apex predators not because they're the strongest, but because they learned to befriend the ocean, while the rest of us just learned to swim across it. A human delegate, one of the few species representatives present, finally spoke. Ambassador Williams stood calmly at her podium, her expression neutral. The Galactic Council has been warned repeatedly, she said quietly. Earth is a protected world. We don't seek conflict, but we also don't tolerate invasion. Every species that has attacked us chose their fate. We simply ensured they met it. Jessica landed her fighter on the carrier deck 2 hours later. James was waiting for her, a warm smile on his face and 2 cups of coffee in his hands. Another day, another saved planet, he said, handing her a cup. You know, Jessica replied, taking a long sip. Sometimes I feel bad about it. They probably think we're monsters. James shrugged. Maybe. But they're alive to think it. The ones who attack us aren't. That's the difference between us and them. We gave them a choice. High above Earth, another alien scout ship detected the human defense grid and quietly changed course, adding one more data point to the growing galactic consensus. Earth was the one planet in the galaxy where the return on invasion was guaranteed to be 0. And humanity, small and soft and seemingly primitive, had earned the one thing that no weapon could provide: peace through the promise of mutually assured nightmare.